Hi everyone. So we are continuing with our series on factor analysis, and this is the same data set that I have used in my earlier video lecture, that is part 1 to factor analysis. If you haven't watched that, I request you to please watch that. All right. So upon this data set, which is primarily a survey data set, so here people have responded to an unemployment survey, uh, unemployment benefits survey, in fact. So we have taken all these variables from V1 to V20 to reduce our number of variables to some shared components, or what we call as the factors. And after applying factor analysis, we had this output, and we had completed the interpretations till the testing assumption. So basically we tested the assumption about the correlation matrix and the KMO and Barless test. Now today let's move on further. uh, Coming on further, we have commonalities, which I'll be revisiting later. This table also I'll revisit later. So will the scree plot. First, we look at the component matrix, then the rotated component matrix, and then commonalities, then total variance explained, and then scree plot. Talking about the component matrix. So basically this matrix gives us the factor loadings which tell us how each of the variables or items contribute in getting at that particular component. So basically what you see over here is that all your rows as are colored over here are nothing but the variables, right? So these are all variables, and what you have on the column side, the factors, the components that you retain, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now each variable has to load on a factor depending upon how much common or shared information does that variable share with that particular factor. So basically we're trying to come up with some components, right? Some factors. So component and factor is one and the same thing. Now those factors will be nothing but groups of some variables, the variables which share common information. Okay, so each variable is going to have some meaningful relationship with a factor. Now this particular variable should have the maximum meaningful relationship with a particular factor, no? So such that each variable will load onto one and only one particular factor. It shouldn't be the case that one variable, for example client's privacy is taken into account as a variable, loads on two factors. That's not a desirable scenario for us. We want that one particular variable should load meaningfully on one and only one factor. Okay, so basically this matrix tells you how strong the relationship is between a variable and the component or factor that is retained. These are literally Pearson correlation coefficients between the variables and the factors, and therefore, as you would expect, a correlation's value ranges between -1 and 1. So their value should also be between that. Now, while looking for the output, we asked SPSS to suppress any factor loading which is below 0.3. Okay, so usually that's a rule of thumb, that any factor loading which is below 0.3 or 0.5 is not worthy. That means that that particular variable does not load, or I should say contribute meaningfully to that particular factor. Okay, so that is why we had given an instruction to SPSS to remove such factor loadings below 0.3. However, if a variable has more than one substantial factor loading, okay, then we call such loadings as cross loadings, as you can see right now. So for example, your first variable has two loadings, third variable also has three loadings. Likewise, I think there are many variables who are showing more than one meaningful loading. So all of these scenarios are called cross loadings. And as I said, we do not like this scenario. This just complicates our interpretation. So what's the way out? So the way out is rotation. Remember, we did some rotation here. So if I show you here, so we chose Varimax rotation here, and I said that I would come up and explain this phenomenon to you again. So that is the time now. So we see that we have cross loadings over here, and the way out to deal with these cross loadings is to do rotation. So we will redistribute the factor loadings which we have over here over the factors according to some mathematical rules. So rotation is a way of maximizing factor loadings on a particular factor. Okay, so this rotation method should be applicable only when you're retaining two or more factors. Now rotation can be done in two fashion. One is orthogonal and another is oblique. So orthogonal rotation means that you are assuming that all the factors which would be retained are independent of each other. That means there is no relationship whatsoever between these four factors retained. Okay. However, oblique rotation methods assume that the factors which you're retaining do correlate amongst them.